Next, let's square up the USA view. GLAAD defends CEO Sarah Kate Ellis amid New York Times report on alleged excessive spending. This week, the New York Times published an article alleging excessive spending by GLAAD and its president and CEO, Sarah Kate Ellis. The report claimed Ellis's compensation and expenses were unusually high for a nonprofit of GLAAD size. It detailed instances of first-class luxury flights, luxury hotel stays, and significant home office renovations, suggesting possible violations of GLAAD's internal policies and IRS regulations. The paper also highlighted Ellis's travel, including more than 30 first-class flights in 18 months and a $13,000 conference trip to California, and a week-long stay at Tivoli Lodge in Davos, Switzerland. In response, GLAAD's Chief Communication Officer, Rich Ferraro, called the article grossly misleading and defended Ellis's compensation, stating that it was far below the claimed $1 million annually. Ferraro emphasized that GLAAD's board fully supports Ellis, crediting her with the organization's growth over the past decade. According to the latest IRS Form 990 from 2022, Ellis's compensation was $575,716 in salary and $27,569 in addition compensation in 2021. The New York Times has, however, defended its reporting and asserted that the article was based on objective information from GLAAD's records. The controversy arises amidst GLAAD's recent criticism of the Times for its biased coverage of transgender healthcare. LGBTQ plus activists expressed concern that, if true, the ramifications could harm GLAAD's mission and fundraising efforts. So my thoughts on this is I have no thoughts because I don't know her lifestyle. I don't know how much money people are getting paid, and I haven't read the article. So I really don't have a thought on this. It would be sad if they were grossly overpaying and she was misusing funds. But to me, it just seems like she's getting her salary and working.
It sounds awful fishy, though, to come right after they have been criticizing the New York Times. And I got to say, the phase word, cojones, on the New York Times. I said that so white. The cojones on the New York Times to start defaming an anti-defamation league.
Wow.
You better be ready and be fact-checked and everything like that, because if you are harming their ability to raise funds, that is absolutely defamation, and they could pay for that. So I don't know the full story either, but I think they should tread very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, I saw a picture of her and those highlights looked expensive. Okay, listen, I'm just saying, look, here's the thing, okay? These organizations are important. GLAAD is so important. GLAAD has done so much fundamentally to just help us be seen on TV and movies. That is their job, right? They're the ones saying, you're not representing us correctly, or you're misusing pronouns, or you're doing whatever it is. They are there to support our community. So this breaks my heart because it makes us all look bad.
Yeah, and if the board of GLAAD is okay with it, then that tells you, to me, that it probably is okay, because she might be making $500,000 or $600,000. How much is she bringing into the organization?
Well, and she's been there 10 years, Mark. So now, a decade later, they said in the last 10 years, she has done all these great things for GLAAD. So now, 10 years, now you notice that she's been taking all, misusing certain funds,
It sounds like she's been steadily getting her paycheck increase. I saw home office renovations, and it says 2021, there were extra expenditures. This could have been from the pandemic. People had to work from home, and we had to, do what I had to spend money to upgrade some parts of my house and change around some things and get extra monitors and things of that nature. And that shit cost me like $2,500.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I'm like, I don't really know what her expenses are, but if you are running a large nonprofit like GLAAD, and I mean, some of these trips are not cheap. Davos, Switzerland isn't cheap. Have you ever been to Switzerland? It's not cheap.
No.
So I pray it's not what the New York Times says, but it also, to Mark's point, is very fishy. Very fishy.
Edward?
It just stresses how important transparency is for nonprofit organizations, especially like GLAAD, and as well as the chorus. We have to always, report all of our, earnings and to the board of directors and stuff. So, it's good that the board does support her. And I do think within the last few years, because we've seen a trend in the rising of costs and things like that. So there's probably been a large jump, in terms of spending and stuff. So yeah, there could possibly be somebody that's, kind of, rattling the cage a little bit on this story and stuff. But I think I'm pretty confident that, that whatever it is that they do discover, I'm sure she would be the first person to, own up to it.
Yeah.
She speaks well of the organization, so I can't imagine her hiding anything from it.
Yeah, GLAAD. Okay, so the next time you send her on business class instead of first class. All right? It's a little step forward, Harrison?
My only food for thought on this is, maybe the source element could be slightly misleading. All nonprofits' tax filings are always very public. They're there. But what they don't realize when they talk about people's compensation is it could very well include a company vehicle, a company rental, gas mileage, meeting accommodations beyond. So that almost 600,000 could be possibly made up of that, meaning it might not be quite as bad as we think it is. Right. That's just my little 2 cents on the topic.
No, but I think that what everybody's saying is correct. I mean, it could also be the New York Times just going out after GLAAD, you know, and trying to find some stuff on them. And when you look, you find something. And that's basically, this is what it is. GLAAD, you'll clean up all of that. We believe in you.